Hey guys, I've had lots of requests to show you the Dremel tool that I use when I'm carving the stars for these Rustic American flags. Now, it's actually not a Dremel tool, it's a Dremel brand rotary tool. Now this is the model 4000. The 4000 there's nothing special about it. I think it's one of the top of the line Dremel tools. I could not tell you the difference between this one and any of the others. I haven't looked into it. The reason I use the 4000 is because my wife gave it to me as a gift for my birthday in 2015. I started making flags the Christmas after that in 2015, and I've been making flags ever since. For all last year, I made about 95 flags total, and I used this to carve all the designs, all the names, all the letters, and all the stars for all the flags. Now, one thing, at about 55 hours, they recommend you to change the brushes. Now, at 55 hours of use, this one stopped working. I was working on flags one night and all of a sudden it stopped working. At the time, I did not realize it had brushes. I kind of went into panic mode. I was like, my goodness, I got to get another Dremel tool because I can't stop here in the middle of all these orders I had. So I looked into it and quickly realized it did have brushes, and so I started looking for brushes. Now, it took me a little bit to find some brushes locally. I didn't have time to wait a couple of days for Amazon or whoever to send me some brushes. Now this one stopped working on me again a couple weeks ago. When it did, I went into panic mode again because I'm in the middle of carving stars on these flags and I needed to get it out the door. And I needed this thing to work. You don't want it to stop in the middle of working on flags. So the best thing to do is keep brushes on hand. Here's a little pack of brushes. I just bought them yesterday for $5. That's not bad. You can get this thing going again for $5. But what I did, and let me go ahead and say I don't recommend this. Now, right now I just tried it and I'm like, perfect, this is the perfect time to do the video because it won't work. I'll turn it on, show you that it won't work, and then I'll show you how I fixed it. But I just turned it on again and it works. So that's just the way it goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I did, and I don't recommend doing this because I haven't talked to anybody other than myself that does this. Now, what I did do, I'll tell you, this is a little flexible. Not much. It's a hard case, but if you put a little pressure on it one way or the other, it will flex. Now, let me prove that to you, because right now, you saw it come on, but if I put pressure right here, the brushes are right here and right here. If I put pressure on both sides here, it'll keep it from running. It'll get those brushes off the motor enough because they're worn out, and it won't come on. So I'm gonna cut it on, do that. Slow down, it's getting the brushes off the motor because there is a little bit of flex to this. Now, what I did when I was in panic mode a couple weeks ago is I went ahead and I stuck this clamp over the brushes, just like that. There's a brush on this side and on this side, and it pushes down just enough. You can't really see it. It's not flexing enough for you to see it. It doesn't leave any marks at all, but it did push down just enough to get it going. And that's what got me through I think the last 2 or 3 flags that I was working on at that time. It was only a temporary fix until I was able to pick up some new brushes. So again, this thing didn't cooperate for me for this video, but that's how I did it. So temporary fix, put a clamp over that and it will get you by a couple flags. Now let me throw these in here. Let me show you what else my wife gave me when she bought that. She bought this Craftsman flex shaft extension. Now you see here I have the blower attachment on it, and I bought that a while back for like $5. That's an excellent thing, and there's a video there for that. But this Craftsman flex shaft extension worked great, and it worked great for a lot of flags. And I started noticing a little bit of vibration here. And when you're carving 100, 200 stars, however many flags you got, 50 stars on each, when you're carving that many, you don't want a lot of vibration right here, just because it hurts your hand. So you want it as comfortable as possible. So when I started getting vibration, I happened to run across a Dremel brand flex shaft extension, and this one was on sale. I think it was like $34. It was on sale for I think $26 or $24. So I went ahead and picked this up, tried it, and it runs a lot smoother than the other one did. Now, I was using this thing a while back, and I broke it. And the way I broke it, let me show you the shaft. Here's the shaft in the Craftsman, and it's just a small shaft, a little kind of a square shaft, and it'll come out easily. But what happened is I was using it and I was wearing a hoodie and I accidentally hit my hoodie with this. This blower caught it, and when it did, it just twisted and instantly broke this shaft. Now, that's a good thing, because had it not broken, had this thing kept going, it could have caused some damage to me, my shirt, or whatever. It happens that it didn't hurt anything, but other than the shaft. So that's why I put the Craftsman shaft back on, the flex shaft extension. This has this little hook on it, and I have a scrap piece of hardwood flooring that I just stuck up here on the side of the workbench. Put a hook in it, I hang it up, flex shaft extension hangs down here, and I can use it right here on the workbench. It does have a lock right here, so that when you want to loosen or tighten the carving bit or any type of bit you have in there, then you can lock it down and handle what you need to right there. It does have the on-off switch here. The brushes are under this cap, and it has a variable speed adjustment. It goes from 5 to 35. That's 5, and that's 35. I need to replace the brushes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna show you how to replace the brushes. All right, I have the brushes opened up here. This is the Dremel 90930-04. It fits the Dremel 4000, and what that basically is nothing more than 2 springs with 2 pieces of carbon here. And there is a little curvature right here. This way it's straight, that way it's curved, so that fits on the motor. That goes against the motor. The curved part, you want it to match the round part of the motor. And all you have to do to change those out is take the cap off here, and it can be difficult sometimes because it does have that spring on it. See, that wants to pop out there. Here is the old one, and here is the new one. So I don't know if you can see the difference, but the old one is about half the length of the new one. So it definitely needs replacement. So I'm going to put that down in there, and you can see the motor inside, and you want that curved part to go against the motor. And that does fit on there. There's a little place for that spring to fit perfect right on that cap. And the toughest thing is keeping that spring straight while installing the cap again. You have to be careful. The cap will go on crooked sometimes. If you can get it started, make sure you hold it, because if the spring pushes it off, the cap will go flying. Alright, it's in there right, and I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Again, kind of cover that thing up, because the spring can, once it comes out of the threads, the spring can push that cap up very quickly, and you'll be looking for a cap. And this one is the same way, about half the length of the new one. That spring, it's a really tiny spring, but it will push that lid or that cap. And I repeat that because it did happen to me, and I was looking for a little cat all over the room. Okay, so they're in. Let me go ahead and plug it back up. Always unplug it before you work on it. Now it's plugged up. Alright guys, that's it. That is the Dremel brand rotary tool that I use. Works great. It's the Dremel 4000 with the flex shaft extension, with the blower attachment, and I showed you how to change the brushes. Very simple, works great. I also showed you another trick that I don't really recommend, but it does get you by. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.